The year 2025 brought audiences a high-stakes political action thriller that dared to imagine an America, led by a black woman president, facing an unprecedented crisis. Director Patricia Riggen crafted a film that walks the precarious line between entertainment and political commentary, creating a narrative that feels both fantastical and eerily prescient in its exploration of global terrorism, cryptocurrency manipulation, and the G20 opens with a masterful misdirection that establishes the film's commitment to keeping audiences guessing. The initial sequence unfolds in Budapest, where viewers witness former Australian Special Forces Corporal Edward Rutledge orchestrating a violent pursuit through the streets. His target appears to be a woman carrying a cryptocurrency wallet worth $70 million, and the chase culminates in a brutal scene where she is drugged into unconsciousness in a crowded pub. This opening establishes Rutledge as a calculating predator willing to use extreme violence to achieve his financial goals. The film then shifts to Washington, where President Danielle Sutton faces the familiar challenges of political leadership complicated by personal family drama. Her daughter Serena has broken security protocols and snuck out of the White House to attend parties, creating a public relations nightmare that threatens to overshadow Sutton's important policy initiatives. This domestic crisis serves as a stark contrast to the global threats that will soon unfold, highlighting the impossible balance that political leaders must maintain between their public duties and private lives. Viola Davis embodies President Sutton with a commanding presence that anchors the entire film. Her portrayal draws upon her extensive experience in dramatic roles, while embracing the physical demands of action cinema. Davis brings gravitas to scenes of political negotiation and unleashes controlled intensity during combat sequences, creating a character who feels authentically presidential, while remaining believably capable in extraordinary circumstances. The decision to bring the Sutton family along to the G20 summit in Cape Town, South Africa, initially appears to be a straightforward plot device to increase the personal stakes. However, the film develops this choice into something more meaningful, exploring how political leaders must often sacrifice family time and normalcy in service of their duties. The presence of Sutton's husband, Derek, and children Serena and Demetrius transforms what could have been a generic hostage scenario into a deeply personal struggle for survival. Anthony Anderson delivers a nuanced performance as Derek Sutton, the supportive husband who must navigate the complexities of being married to the most powerful person in the world. His chemistry with Davis feels authentic and lived in, suggesting a relationship that has weathered the storms of political life. When the crisis unfolds, Anderson shows Derek's transition from political spouse to protective father, willing to risk everything to keep his children safe. Marsai Martin brings intelligence and rebellious energy to the role of Serena Sutton, the president's daughter who struggles with the constraints of her unique position. Rather than portraying her as a typical rebellious teenager, Martin infuses the character with genuine technical skills and emotional depth. Her ability to hack security systems and send crucial messages during the crisis transforms her from potential liability into valuable asset, reflecting the film's broader themes about underestimating people based on preconceptions. The G20 summit setting provides an ideal backdrop for exploring contemporary geopolitical tensions. The film presents Cape Town as a cosmopolitan meeting ground, where the world's most powerful leaders gather to address global challenges, particularly the economic disparities affecting sub-Saharan Africa. President Sutton's proposal to empower struggling farmers through digital currency access represents a forward-thinking approach to development aid that acknowledges the transformative potential of cryptocurrency while remaining grounded in humanitarian concept. This economic subplot becomes central to understanding the villain's motivations and methods. Edward Rutledge, portrayed with chilling effectiveness by Antony Starr, represents a new breed of terrorist who understands that modern warfare is as much about information and economics as it is about traditional violence. His plan to manipulate global markets through deepfake technology and cryptocurrency speculation reflects genuine contempt. Starr brings a measured menace to Rutledge that makes him particularly unsettling. Rather than relying on scenery-chewing theatrics, he portrays the character as a methodical professional who views his terrorist activities as a business venture. His Australian military background provides credibility for his tactical skills, while his personal grievances against American foreign policy give his actions a twisted sense of righteousness that makes him more than a simple villain. The film's exploration of deepfake technology feels remarkably timely, addressing fears about how artificial intelligence can be weaponized to manipulate public opinion and market behavior. When Rutledge forces the captured world leaders to speak specific phrases that he can then use to create convincing fake videos, the movie taps into very real concerns about the erosion of truth in the digital age. These fabricated endorsements of cryptocurrency investments represent a sophisticated form of economic terrorism that feels genuinely threatening because of its plausibility. Ramón Rodríguez delivers a standout performance as Secret Service agent Manny Ruiz, whose quick thinking and loyalty become crucial to President Sutton's survival. Rodríguez brings intensity and professionalism to the role while maintaining the character. His chemistry with Davis creates a believable partnership between a president and her protector, built on mutual respect and shared commitment to duty. The film's action sequences benefit from Patricia Riggen's direction, which emphasizes practical effects and spatial geography. The hotel siege unfolds with clear visual storytelling that helps audiences understand the layout of the building and the tactical challenges facing both the terrorists. Rather than relying on quick cuts and shaky camera work, Riggen allows the action to breathe, creating genuine tension through careful pacing and strategic reveals. Douglas Hodge brings dignity and resolve to his portrayal of British Prime Minister Oliver Everett, who emerges as one of President Sutton's key allies during the crisis. His performance suggests years of political experience, while showing how extraordinary circumstances can strip away diplomatic niceties to reveal core character. The developing partnership between Sutton and Everett reflects the film's optimistic view of international cooperation in the face of existential threats. Her character's eventual revelation as a conspirator working with Rutledge provides one of the movie's most effective plot twists, while raising uncomfortable questions about the corrupting influence of vast wealth and the appeal of cryptocurrency speculation to those who should be most committed to traditional financial systems. The film's treatment of family dynamics under extreme pressure provides some of its most compelling moments. When Derek Sutton is captured and used as leverage against the president, the movie explores the impossible choices facing leaders who must balance personal love against public responsibility. Anthony Anderson's portrayal of a man trying to protect his children while supporting his wife's duty to save the world adds emotional weight to the action sequences. Christopher Farrar brings vulnerability and growth to his role as Demetrius, the president's son who must overcome his fears to contribute to the family's survival. The relationship between Demetrius and his more confident sister Sabrina provides moments of levity and genuine family feeling amid the chaos. The South African setting serves multiple purposes beyond providing an exotic backdrop for the action. The film uses Cape Town's history and contemporary realities to explore themes of economic justice and post-colonial development. President Sutton's cryptocurrency initiative specifically targets sub-Saharan farmers, acknowledging the region's economic challenges while proposing technologically sophisticated solutions that could bypass traditional barriers to financial inclusion. The presence of South African government agents, Mellicle and Lassetti, who pose as hotel staff while working undercover, adds local perspective to the international crisis. These characters demonstrate that effective counter-terrorism requires cooperation between nations and appreciation for local knowledge. Their crucial assistance in the final confrontations reflects the film's belief that global challenges require global solutions. Sabrina Impacciatore brings gravitas to her role as Elena Romano, head of the International Monetary Fund, whose economic expertise becomes crucial during the crisis. Her character represents the intersection of international finance and political power, showing how economic policy decisions made in boardrooms can have life and death consequences for ordinary people around the world. Her survival and eventual collaboration with President Sutton suggest hope for reformed international economic cooperation. The film's exploration of cryptocurrency as both solution and weapon reflects contemporary debates about digital currencies and their potential impact. Rutledge's scheme to inflate his crypto holdings through market manipulation based on fake endorsements from world leaders represents a sophisticated understanding of how modern financial markets can be weaponized by those with sufficient technical knowledge and complete lack of moral restraint. Joseph Trapanese's musical score supports the action without overwhelming it, building tension during stealth sequences and providing emotional punctuation during. The music avoids the bombastic tendencies of many action films, instead creating an atmosphere of controlled intensity that matches the film's focus on tactical thinking over pure spectacle. The cinematography emphasizes the claustrophobic nature of the hotel siege while maintaining visual clarity during complex action sequences. The camera work supports the performances without calling attention to itself, allowing audiences to focus on character relationships and plot development rather than flashy visual effects. This approach serves the film well during intimate dialogue scenes and large-scale action set pieces alike. Gregg appears in a supporting role that showcases his ability to project authority and competence under pressure. His presence adds credibility to the film's portrayal of government crisis response, while providing familiar reassurance to audiences accustomed to seeing him in similar roles. His character's interactions with President Sutton demonstrate the complex web of relationships that support executive decision-making during national emergencies. The film's treatment of deepfake technology goes beyond simple plot device to explore genuine concerns about truth. When audiences see convincing videos of world leaders endorsing Rutledge's cryptocurrency scheme, the movie demonstrates how easily public opinion can be manipulated through sophisticated forgeries. This element of the plot feels particularly relevant given contemporary concerns about misinformation and its impact on democratic processes. The hotel setting provides an ideal location for the contained thriller elements of the plot, while serving as a metaphor for the interconnected nature. The building's luxury amenities and high-security features create an environment where world leaders should feel safe to conduct sensitive negotiations, making the breach of that security feel particularly violating. The contrast between the summit's diplomatic purposes and the violence that unfolds within its walls underscores the film's themes about the fragility of international cooperation. Angela Sarafian delivers a moving performance as Han Min-seo, First Lady of South Korea, whose character arc from protected spouse to active resistance member reflects the film's broader themes about people exceeding others' expectations during crisis. Her eventual confrontation with Rutledge, where she stabs him during a crucial moment, provides both visceral satisfaction and thematic resonance about the power of unexpected allies. The film's pacing maintains tension throughout its runtime, while allowing for character development and thematic exploration, rather than relying solely on action sequences to maintain audience engagement. The movie builds suspense through strategic information, reveals, and character relationships. The moments of quiet between action set pieces allow for emotional investment that make. The portrayal of international cooperation during crisis reflects an optimistic view of global leadership that feels both aspirational and naive given contemporary political realities. When President Sutton works effectively with leaders from other nations to combat the terrorist threat, the film suggests that shared challenges can overcome national rivalries and cultural differences. This theme resonates throughout the movie, from small moments of mutual aid. The film's treatment of cryptocurrency and economic warfare demonstrates sophisticated understanding of how modern financial systems can be manipulated by bad actors with sufficient resources and technical knowledge. Rutledge's scheme to crash the American economy through coordinated market manipulation based on fake government endorsements represents a genuine threat that combines traditional terrorism with cutting-edge technology. The character development of President Sutton throughout the crisis shows a leader who must balance multiple competing priorities while maintaining moral clarity about right and wrong. Davis portrays her as someone who has clearly thought deeply about the responsibilities of leadership and the costs of difficult decisions. Her willingness to sacrifice herself to protect others reflects genuine heroism, while her military background provides credible explanation. The family dynamics between the Suttons provide emotional grounding for the high-concept plot elements. The relationship between Danielle and Sabrina particularly benefits from careful development, showing how extreme circumstances can strip away the barriers that separate family members during normal times. Their growing mutual respect and cooperation during the crisis feels earned rather than convenient. The film's exploration of loyalty and betrayal through Joanna Worth's character adds complexity to what could have been a straightforward good versus evil narrative. Her motivations for working with Rutledge emerge gradually, suggesting someone who has become disillusioned with traditional governance and attracted to the promise of vast wealth through cryptocurrency speculation. This character choice reflects real concerns about how economic inequality. The action sequences benefit from clear choreography and practical effects that emphasize the physical reality of violence while maintaining the film's overall tone. The fights feel consequential because they involve characters audiences have grown to care about, and the tactical elements demonstrate respect for both the hero's intelligence and the villain succeeds through luck alone, making the eventual victories feel earned. The international cast brings authenticity to the global setting while avoiding stereotypical portrayals of different nationalities. Each world leader and their staff feel like real people with distinct personalities and motivations rather than generic representatives of their countries. This attention to characterization strengthens the film's themes about international cooperation and mutual understanding. The film's treatment of technology throughout the crisis while Rutledge uses deepfake technology and cryptocurrency manipulation for destructive purposes, the heroes employ similar tools for communication, surveillance, and strategic planning. This balanced approach avoids technophobia while acknowledging legitimate concerns about digital security and privacy. Their final helicopter battle functions as traditional action movie climax, while their dialogue reveals the philosophical differences that drive their actions. Rutledge's accusations about American foreign policy and Sutton's response demonstrate the film's engagement with real political debates about military intervention and global leadership. The resolution of the cryptocurrency plot thread provides satisfying closure while acknowledging the ongoing challenges of. When Rutledge's scheme collapses and the stolen funds become inaccessible, the movie suggests that coordination between governments and financial institutions can effectively combat economic terrorism, though the underlying vulnerabilities in the system remain. The film's portrayal of media coverage during the crisis reflects contemporary concerns about how breaking news situations can be manipulated by bad actors. The fake videos of world leaders that Rutledge releases to news outlets demonstrate how quickly false information can spread and influence public opinion, particularly during chaotic situations when verification becomes difficult. The character of Danielle Sutton throughout the crisis demonstrates how ordinary people can display extraordinary courage when protecting their family. Anthony Anderson's performance shows a man who never expected to face life-and-death situations, but rises to meet the challenge through determination and love. His relationship with his children during their ordeal provides some of the film's most emotionally resonant moments. The South African Security Forces' response to the crisis reflects the film's commitment to showing international cooperation in action. Rather than portraying local authorities as incompetent or corrupt, the movie presents them as professional allies who understand their country and can provide crucial assistance to the international effort to resolve the hostage situation. The film's exploration of deepfake technology extends beyond its use as a plot device to examine broader questions about truth and authenticity in the digital age. When audiences see how easily convincing fake videos can be created and distributed, the movie raises uncomfortable questions about how people can distinguish between reliable and fabricated information, particularly during rapidly developing crisis situations. The hotel's security systems and layout become characters in their own right, providing both obstacles and opportunities for the various factions trying to achieve their. The building's high-tech features that were designed to protect world leaders become tools that terrorists can exploit, while hidden passages and service areas provide escape routes for the heroes. This attention to spatial detail helps audiences understand the tactical challenges facing all parties. The relationship between President Sutton and Agent Ruiz develops throughout the crisis, showing how extreme circumstances can forge bonds between people from different. Their mutual respect and growing trust provide a foundation for their increasingly desperate attempts to save the hostages and stop Rutledge's scheme. Rodriguez and Davis create believable chemistry as partners who complement each other's strengths. The film's treatment of economic inequality and its relationship to political instability reflects contemporary concerns about how vast wealth gaps can undermine democratic institutions. Rutledge's critique of global economic systems, while delivered by a villain using terrorist methods, touches on legitimate grievances about how international trade and financial policies affect ordinary people in developing nations. The presence of children in the crisis situation adds stakes that go beyond political or economic considerations. When Serena and Demetrius must rely on their own resources to survive and contribute to the resolution, the film demonstrates faith in young people's capabilities while acknowledging the trauma that such experiences would create. Their growth throughout the ordeal feels realistic rather than Hollywood convenient. The film's portrayal of Secret Service operations during the crisis reflects understanding of how executive protection works, while acknowledging that no security system is perfect when facing determined adversaries with inside information. The revelation that Agent Darden has betrayed his oath adds personal betrayal to the institutional failure, making the hero's eventual success feel even more hard-won. The cryptocurrency elements of the plot reflect genuine concerns about how digital currencies can be used to manipulate traditional financial systems while avoiding regulatory oversight. Rutledge's ability to generate massive wealth through coordinated market manipulation based on fake government endorsements demonstrates vulnerabilities in current economic structures that extend far beyond the world of fiction. The international news coverage of the crisis provides commentary on how media organizations balance the need to inform the public with the responsibility to avoid spreading misinformation. When fake videos of world leaders begin circulating, the movie shows how difficult it can be for journalists to verify information quickly, while competing pressure to break news first creates opportunities for deception. The film's resolution demonstrates faith in democratic institutions and international cooperation, while acknowledging the ongoing challenges posed by technological advancement and economic inequality. President Sutton's ultimate success in stopping Rutledge and implementing her development aid program suggests that good governance and moral leadership can overcome even sophisticated threats, though the victory comes at considerable personal cost. The performance of the ensemble cast creates a believable world where political leaders, security personnel, family members, and ordinary citizens must work together to overcome an existential threat. Each actor brings distinct personality and motivation to their role, avoiding the generic characterizations that often plague action movies with large casts. The relationships between characters feel authentic and earned, rather than. The film's exploration of parent-child relationships under extreme stress provides emotional depth that elevates the material above typical action movie fare. The interactions between President Sutton and her children, particularly her growing respect for Serena's technical abilities and independence, reflect broader themes about recognizing people's full potential rather than limiting them based on preconception. The South African setting serves as more than exotic backdrop, incorporating the country's history and contemporary challenges into the film's broader themes about economic development and international cooperation. The presence of local agents, who provide crucial assistance, demonstrates respect for African expertise and capability, while avoiding the colonial attitudes that often characterize Western action movies set in developing nations. The film's treatment of loyalty and duty explores how people in positions of responsibility must sometimes make impossible choices between competing moral obligations. President Sutton's willingness to sacrifice herself to protect others, Derek's determination to save his children, and Agent Ruiz's commitment to his oath all demonstrate different aspects of heroism that go beyond physical courage to encompass more. The cryptocurrency plot thread reflects contemporary anxieties about how rapidly evolving financial technology can outpace regulatory frameworks and create new opportunities for criminal exploitation. Rutledge's scheme demonstrates sophisticated understanding of how market psychology and social media can be manipulated to create artificial demand for digital assets, generating enormous wealth for those with. The hotel siege scenario provides an ideal setting for exploring how people from vastly different backgrounds and cultures can find common ground when facing shared threats. The cooperation between American, British, Korean, Italian, and South African characters demonstrates the film's optimistic view of international relations, while acknowledging the real challenges of coordinating responses across different governmental and cultural systems. The film's pacing allows for both spectacular action sequences and quieter character moments that develop relationships and themes. Rather than maintaining constant frenetic energy, The movie creates rhythm that builds tension through strategic placement of action and reflection. This approach helps audiences invest emotionally in the characters while maintaining engagement throughout the runtime. The portrayal of deepfake technology and its potential for abuse feels particularly relevant given contemporary concerns about misinformation and its impact on democratic processes. When Rutledge creates convincing fake videos of world leaders endorsing his cryptocurrency scheme, the movie demonstrates how easily public opinion can be manipulated through sophisticated forgeries that exploit people's trust in familiar authority figures. The character development of Sabrina Sutton throughout the crisis shows a young woman coming into her own while learning to balance independence with family responsibility. Marsai Martin's performance captures both teenage rebelliousness and growing maturity as circumstances force rapid personal growth. Her technical skills prove crucial to the hero's success, while her emotional growth provides satisfaction beyond mere plot advancement. The film's exploration of economic warfare through cryptocurrency manipulation reflects genuine vulnerabilities in current financial systems that extend far beyond fictional scenarios. Rutledge's ability to generate massive wealth through coordinated market manipulation demonstrates how digital currencies can be weaponized by those with sufficient technical knowledge and complete lack of moral restraint. The international cooperation required to resolve the crisis reflects the film's core belief that global challenges require coordinated responses from multiple nations and institutions. Rather than portraying American leadership as sufficient to solve all problems, the movie shows President Sutton succeeding through partnership with allies who bring their own expertise and resources to the effort. The family dynamics throughout the crisis provide emotional grounding that makes the high-stakes action feel personally meaningful rather than abstractly spectacular. The relationships between parents and children, husband and wife, and siblings under extreme pressure create investment in outcomes that goes beyond simple good versus evil calculations. The film's treatment of media manipulation during crisis situations reflects contemporary concerns about how quickly false information can spread through social media and traditional news outlets during rapidly developing events. The fake videos that Rutledge produces and distributes demonstrate how difficult it can be for both journalists and ordinary citizens to verify information when time is limited and stakes are high. The resolution of the terrorist plot provides satisfying closure while acknowledging that the underlying issues that enabled Rutledge's scheme remain largely unaddressed. The film suggests that good leadership and international cooperation can overcome specific threats while recognizing that systemic problems like economic inequality and technological vulnerability require ongoing attention and solution. The performance of Viola Davis anchors the entire film, providing gravitas and authenticity to what could have been a purely fantastical scenario. Her portrayal of President Sutton demonstrates both the intellectual demands of executive leadership and the physical courage required when that leadership is tested by extraordinary circumstances. Davis makes the character feel like a real person rather than an action movie archetype. The film's exploration of trust and betrayal through various character relationships adds complexity to what could have been a straightforward heroic narrative. The revelation that Treasury Secretary Worth has been working with the terrorists forces audiences to question their assumptions about loyalty and motivation, while demonstrating how economic pressures can corrupt even those in positions of public trust. The tactical elements of the action sequences reflect respect for both the hero's intelligence and the villain's competence. Nobody succeeds through luck alone or fails due to incompetence. Instead, victories and defeats result from strategic thinking, careful planning, and moral choices made under extreme pressure. This approach makes the eventual resolution feel earned rather than convenient. The international cast brings authenticity to the global setting while avoiding stereotypical portrayals that often plague action movies set in multiple countries. Each character feels like a real person with distinct personality and motivation rather than a generic representative of their nationality. This attention to characterization strengthens the film's themes about cooperation across cultural boundaries. The film's treatment of technology throughout the crisis demonstrates both its potential benefits and dangers, while avoiding simplistic technophobia or uncritical enthusiasm. Digital tools enable both Rutledge's manipulation scheme and the hero's communication and planning efforts, suggesting that technology itself is neutral, while its applications depend entirely on the motivations of those who control it. The climactic confrontation provides both physical and ideological resolution to the central conflict, while maintaining the film's commitment to character development over pure spectacle. The dialogue between President Sutton and Rutledge during their final battle reveals the philosophical differences that drive their actions, while the physical combat demonstrates the personal costs of their opposing choices. The film's exploration of economic inequality and its relationship to political instability touches on legitimate concerns about how global financial systems affect ordinary people while avoiding oversimplified solutions or partisan political messaging. The problems that Rutledge exploits are real, even though his terrorist methods are clearly wrong. Creating moral complexity that elevates them. The portrayal of government crisis response reflects understanding of how executive protection and national security systems actually function, while acknowledging their limitations when facing sophisticated adversaries with inside information. The heroes must overcome both external threats and institutional failures, making their eventual success feel more impressive and hard-won. The South African setting incorporates the country's unique. Rather than treating the location as merely exotic backdrop, the film engages seriously with questions about post-colonial economics and the role of technology in addressing global inequality. The family relationships provide emotional stakes that make the political and economic elements of the plot feel personally meaningful. The bonds between parents and children, the partnership between husband and wife, and the sibling dynamics all contribute to investment in outcomes that goes beyond abstract calculations about policy success or failure. The film's resolution demonstrates in democratic institutions and moral leadership, while acknowledging the ongoing challenges posed by technological advancement and economic inequality. President Sutton's success in stopping the immediate threat and implementing her development program suggests hope for positive change, while recognizing that systemic problems require sustained effort and international cooperation. The ensemble cast creates a believable world where different types of people must work together to overcome existential threats, from political leaders to security personnel, from family members to ordinary citizens. This collaborative approach reflects the film's core themes about the power of cooperation over individual heroism. The cryptocurrency elements reflect contemporary anxieties about how rapidly evolving financial technology can create new opportunities for criminal exploitation, while outpacing regulatory frameworks designed to protect ordinary investors and maintain market stability. Rutledge's sophisticated manipulation scheme demonstrates. The film's treatment of loyalty and duty explores how people in positions of responsibility must navigate competing moral obligations while maintaining clarity about fundamental values. Whether examining President Sutton's choice between personal and public good, Agent Reese's commitment to protecting those in his care, or Derek's determination to save his family, the movie demonstrates different aspects of heroism that encompass both courage and moral realism. The pacing throughout the runtime creates rhythm that builds tension through strategic placement of action sequences and character development moments. Rather than maintaining constant frenetic energy that could exhaust audiences, the film allows for breathing space that enhances both emotional investment and plot comprehension, while maintaining engagement from beginning to end. G20 ultimately succeeds as both entertainment and political commentary by grounding it spectacularly. While the specific scenario may be fictional, the underlying tensions about international cooperation, economic inequality, technological vulnerability, and democratic leadership reflect genuine challenges facing the real world. The film's optimistic conclusion suggests that these problems can be addressed through moral leadership, though not without significant personal and collaborative effort. The production design of G20 reflects meticulous attention to detail that serves both the film's aesthetic and narrative requirements. The Cape Town hotel setting becomes a character unto itself, with its labyrinthine corridors, state-of-the-art security systems, and luxury accommodations creating an environment that feels simultaneously protective and trap-like one. The production team transformed the location into a convincing venue for international diplomacy, while ensuring that every architectural element could serve the action sequences that would unfold within its walls. The film's technical achievements extend beyond mere spectacle to support the storytelling in meaningful ways. The surveillance systems that Rutledge and his team exploit become visual metaphors for the interconnectedness of modern global communications, while the deepfake technology serves as both plot device and commentary on contemporary concerns about digital truth. The production designers worked closely with technology consultants to ensure that the cryptocurrency elements and artificial intelligence aspects felt grounded in current reality. Costume design plays a crucial role in establishing character relationships and highlighting the contrast between diplomatic formality and violent crisis. President Sutton's transformation from elegant evening wear to practical combat attire mirrors her journey from political leader to action hero, while the tactical gear worn by Rutledge's mercenaries emphasizes their military precision and professional approach to terror. The costumes help audiences track character allegiances and emotional states throughout the rapidly developing crisis in XP. The film's editing maintains narrative clarity during complex action sequences while building tension through strategic pacing decisions. The parallel storylines following different groups of characters throughout the hotel siege require careful coordination to maintain spatial and temporal continuity. The editors succeed in creating a sense of urgency without sacrificing comprehension, allowing audiences to follow multiple plot threads simultaneously while building toward convergent climaxes. Sound design contributes significantly to the film's atmosphere and emotional impact. The contrast between the diplomatic murmur of international negotiations and the sudden violence of the terrorist attack creates jarring transitions that underscore the fragility of peaceful distance. The use of practical sound effects during combat sequences enhances the physicality of the violence, while the absence of sound during crucial moments of stealth creates unbearable tension. 11. The film's approach to violence reflects careful consideration of how action sequences can serve character development rather than existing purely for spectacle. Each confrontation reveals something about the participants' backgrounds, training, or moral commitments. President Sutton's combat skills emerge naturally from her established military background, while the efficiency of Rutledge's operations demonstrates his professional competence even as audiences condemn his methods. 7. The international cast brings linguistic authenticity to the global setting while avoiding the typical Hollywood approach of having all foreign characters speak English with manufactured accents. The natural code switching between languages during casual conversations among world leaders creates believable diplomatic atmosphere, while the reversion to native languages during moments of stress adds emotional authenticity to crisis situations. The film's exploration of economic themes goes beyond surface-level cryptocurrency references to examine how global financial systems create vulnerabilities that can be exploited by sophisticated bad actors. The connection between digital currency speculation and traditional market manipulation demonstrates understanding of how modern economics blur the lines between legitimate investment and criminal exploitation. Rutledge's scheme succeeds precisely because it leverages existing systems rather than operating outside them entirely. The portrayal of Secret Service operations during the crisis reflects research into actual executive protection protocols, while Agent Maurice's tactical decisions throughout the siege demonstrate both professional competence and personal loyalty, while the revelation of betrayal within the security apparatus adds psychological complexity to the physical threats facing the protagonists. 3. The film's treatment of family dynamics under extreme pressure creates emotional stakes that transcend political or economic considerations. The Sutton family relationships evolve throughout the crisis as circumstances. Serena's transformation from rebellious teenager to valuable team member reflects broader themes about people rising to meet extraordinary challenges when given opportunity and trust. 9. The South African setting provides more than exotic backdrop for international intrigue. The choice of Cape Town reflects both practical filmmaking considerations and thematic relevance to global economic development initiatives. The local agents who provide crucial assistance to the protagonists represent authentic collaboration rather than tokenistic inclusion, while the city's history and contemporary realities inform the film's broader discussions about post-colonial economic relationships. 12. The cinematography employs practical lighting and camera movement to enhance the claustrophobic atmosphere of the hotel siege, while maintaining visual clarity during complex action sequences. The decision to avoid excessive digital effects in favor of practical stunts and real locations gives the film a grounded feeling that supports audience investment in character safety. The camera work during dialogue scenes emphasizes character relationships through strategic framing and movement. 4. The musical score by Joseph Trapanese complements the action without overwhelming it, building tension during stealth sequences and providing emotional punctuation during character moments. The composer avoids the bombastic tendencies that often characterize political action films, instead creating an atmosphere of controlled intensity that matches the protagonist's tactical approach to problem-solving rather than relying on pure aggression or luck. 4. The film's marketing campaign emphasized both the spectacular action elements and the groundbreaking nature of seeing a black woman portrayed as an action hero present. The promotional materials balanced appeals to action movie audiences with recognition of the film's political themes and contemporary relevance. The decision to release directly through streaming services rather than theatrical distribution allowed for global simultaneous release while acknowledging changing entertainment consumption patterns. Critical reception reflected the challenges facing action films that attempt to balance entertainment with political commentary. While many reviewers praised Viola Davis's committed performance and the film's technical competence, others criticized the screenplay's predictable plot developments and heavy-handed thematic messaging. The mixed reviews highlight the difficulty of creating populist entertainment that addresses serious contemporary issues without sacrificing either accessibility or intellectual depth. 11-15. The film's exploration of deepfake technology as both weapon and metaphor resonates with contemporary concerns about truth and authenticity in digital media. The ease with which Rutledge creates convincing fake videos of world leaders demonstrates genuine vulnerabilities in current information systems, while raising uncomfortable questions about how ordinary citizens can distinguish between authentic and the hotel's security systems become both obstacle and opportunity for different characters throughout the crisis. The high-tech features designed to protect world leaders can be turned against them by adversaries with sufficient technical knowledge and inside access. The production design team created a believable environment where cutting-edge security measures could realistically be circumvented through combination of technical expertise and strategic planning. The film's treatment of international cooperation during crisis situations reflects optimistic assumptions about global leadership that feel both aspirational and naive given contemporary political realities. The ease with which President Sutton collaborates with leaders from other nations suggests possibilities for transcending national rivalries through shared challenges, while the practical difficulties of coordinating responses across different governmental systems. The character development of supporting figures throughout the crisis demonstrates the film's commitment to avoiding stereotypical portrayals while maintaining clear narrative focus on the central protagonists. Each world leader and their staff exhibit distinct personalities and motivations that go beyond simple national representation, while their individual contributions to the resolution feel organic rather than conveniently distributed for plot purposes. The film's approach to depicting presidential power during extraordinary circumstances balances respect for institutional authority with recognition of individual agency and moral responsibility. President Sutton's decisions throughout the crisis reflect both constitutional obligations and personal values, while her willingness to take extreme risks demonstrates leadership that transcends mere political calculation. 9. The production faced significant challenges during filming due to labor disputes and scheduling conflicts that affected both cast availability and location shooting. The decision to move forward with interim agreements while respecting union positions demonstrated commitment to fair labor practices. While maintaining project momentum, these behind-the-scenes negotiations reflect broader industry discussions about working conditions and compensation structures. The film's editing during action sequences maintains spatial continuity while building momentum toward climactic confrontations. The parallel storylines following different character groups require careful pacing to ensure that each subplot receives adequate development without sacrificing overall narrative thrust. The editors successfully balance multiple perspectives while maintaining clear cause and effect relationships between different events for your. The costume design reflects both practical considerations for action sequences and symbolic representation of character transformation throughout the crisis. The contrast between formal diplomatic attire and combat-ready clothing mirrors the film's broader themes about adaptability and hidden capabilities. The attention to detail in both luxury, formal wear, and tactical equipment demonstrates production values that support rather than distract from performance. The film's portrayal of cryptocurrency markets and their manipulation reflects sophisticated understanding of how digital currency speculation can be weaponized by bad actors with sufficient resources and technical knowledge. The connection between social media influence and market behavior demonstrates awareness of how contemporary financial systems blur traditional boundaries between legitimate investment strategies and criminal exploitation strategies. The South African government agents who provide crucial assistance to the protagonists represent authentic international cooperation rather than typical Hollywood portrayals of local authorities as either incompetent or corrupt. Their technical expertise and cultural knowledge prove essential to resolving the crisis, while their personal motivations reflect professional pride and patriotic duty rather than simple deference to American leadership. 1. The film's exploration of loyalty and betrayal through various character relationships adds psychological complexity to what could have been straightforward action movie plotting. The revelation of Treasury Secretary Worth's collaboration with the terrorist forces audiences to question assumptions about motivation and allegiance, while demonstrating how economic pressures can corrupt even those in positions of public trust. The hotel setting allows for intimate character moments between spectacular action sequences without requiring major location changes or complex transitional scenes. The building's architecture provides natural opportunities for separated characters to reunite, while its security features create believable obstacles that require intelligence and teamwork to overcome rather than relying purely on physical prowess or fortunate coincidence. The film's treatment of media coverage during crisis situations reflects contemporary concerns about how breaking news can be manipulated by sophisticated bad actors with access to deepfake technology and coordinated social media campaigns. The speed with which false information spreads through news outlets demonstrates genuine vulnerabilities in current information verification systems during chaotic development. The international cast brings linguistic diversity and cultural authenticity to the global political setting, while avoiding the stereotypical accents and behaviors that often characterize Hollywood depictions of foreign leaders. The natural interactions between characters from different nations create believable diplomatic atmosphere, while their reversion to native languages during moments of extreme stress adds emotional authenticity to crisis responses. The film's musical score avoids the patriotic bombast that typically accompanies American action movies set in international contexts, instead creating atmospheric tension that supports character development and plot advancement. The composer's restrained approach allows dialogue and sound effects to carry emotional weight while providing subtle musical enhancement during key dramatic moments for Tar. The production design team created detailed backstories for various international delegations that inform both costume choices and set decoration, even though much of this information remains subtext rather than explicit exposition. This attention to detail creates authentic atmosphere that supports audience belief in the fictional G20 summit, while providing actors with concrete character backgrounds to inform their performances. The film's editing maintains clear spatial relationships during complex action sequences that unfold across multiple floors and sections of the hotel building. The audience can follow character movements and tactical decisions without becoming confused about geography or timing, while the parallel cutting between different groups builds suspense toward convergent climaxes. 4. The cinematography during dialogue scenes uses strategic camera placement and movement to emphasize character relationships and power dynamics, without calling attention to technical execution. The visual storytelling supports rather than competes with performances, while creating intimate moments that balance the spectacular action elements throughout the film. 4. The film's approach to depicting violence emphasizes consequences and emotional impact rather than graphic spectacle, maintaining accessibility for broad audiences while acknowledging the real costs of combat situations. The action choreography serves character development by revealing training, determination, and moral commitment rather than existing purely for visual excitement. The costume design team researched actual diplomatic protocols and security procedures to ensure the attention to detail in both luxury evening attire and combat gear demonstrates production values that support audience belief in the fictional scenario while providing practical functionality for actors during action sequences. The film's exploration of economic inequality through the lens of cryptocurrency development aid reflects understanding of how technological solutions can address global poverty while creating new opportunities for criminal exploitation. The connection between legitimate humanitarian goals and criminal market manipulation demonstrates the complex moral landscape of contemporary international finance. 5. The hotel's surveillance systems become visual metaphors for both protection and violation of privacy, while the terrorists' ability to manipulate these systems reflects genuine vulnerabilities in current security technology. The production team consulted with actual security experts to ensure that both protective measures and their circumvention felt realistic rather than convenient for plot purposes. The film's treatment of presidential decision-making during crisis situations balances constitutional obligations with personal moral imperatives, while acknowledging the impossible choices facing leaders during extraordinary circumstances. President Sutton's evolution throughout the crisis reflects both her established character and the transformative effects of extreme pressure on individual psychology. 9. The supporting cast creates believable international atmosphere through authentic cultural details and natural interactions that go beyond simple plot functionality. Each character brings distinct national perspective and personal motivation that enriches the overall narrative while avoiding stereotypical representations that are typically characterizations that typically. The film's production faced logistical challenges, coordinate shooting across multiple international locations while maintaining narrative continuity and visual consistency. The decision to use practical locations rather than extensive digital environments creates authentic atmosphere, while requiring careful planning to achieve both aesthetic goals and action sequence requirements. The editing during family scenes balances emotional intimacy with the film's overall pace and tension, allowing character relationships to develop naturally while maintaining momentum toward action climaxes. The Sutton family dynamics evolve organically throughout the crisis as circumstances force reassessment of established patterns and assumptions. 4. The film's approach to international politics avoids partisan messaging. The optimistic conclusion suggests possibilities for positive change through moral leadership and collaborative effort, while acknowledging the genuine challenges posed by technological advancement and systemic institutional weaknesses. The screenplay's narrative structure employs classic three-act formatting. The opening sequence in Budapest establishes Rutledge as a financial predator before revealing his larger terrorist ambitions, while the initial White House scenes present President Sutton as dealing with ordinary family challenges before thrust into extraordinary circumstances that demand both intellectual and physical capabilities. The film's dialogue balances exposition necessary for understanding complex cryptocurrency and deepfake. The writers avoid heavy-handed explanations of technical concepts while ensuring that audiences can follow the economic warfare elements that drive the central conflict. Characters speak in voices that reflect their backgrounds and positions while serving the larger narrative requirements. The visual effects team faced unique challenges in creating convincing deepfake sequences that would demonstrate the technology's threat without actually promoting its misuse. The decision to show rather than merely describe how fake videos are created serves the story while educating audiences about contemporary digital security concerns. The balance between technical accuracy and dramatic necessity required extensive consultation with experts in both filmmaking and cybersecurity. The decision to film in actual luxury hotels and government facilities, rather than constructed sets, creates atmosphere that supports audience belief in the fictional G20 summit, while providing actors with authentic environments that inform their performances. The casting process prioritized actors who could handle both dramatic character work and physical action requirements while bringing cultural authenticity to the international political setting. The decision to cast established dramatic performers rather than traditional action stars reflects confidence in character-driven storytelling over pure spectacle, while ensuring that combat sequences feel consequential rather than choreographed. The film's approach to depicting government crisis response protocols reflects research into actual executive protection and national security procedures, while acknowledging the dramatic license necessary for entertaining storytelling. The balance between authentic tactical elements and accessible narrative requirements ensures that audiences can follow strategic decisions without becoming bogged down in technical details. The production design team created detailed histories for various international delegations that inform both visual elements and character background without requiring extensive exposition. The attention to cultural details in costume, set decoration, and prop design creates authentic atmosphere, while providing actors with concrete character foundations that enhance their performances throughout the crisis. The screenplay's treatment of family dynamics during extreme circumstances explores universal themes about parents and children discovering each other's capabilities under pressure. The Sutton family relationships evolve naturally throughout the crisis as established patterns are challenged by extraordinary demands that require mutual dependence and respect, rather than traditional hierarchical authority structures. The film's exploration of cryptocurrency as both solution and weapon reflects contemporary anxieties about how rapidly evolving financial technology can outpace regulatory frameworks, while creating opportunities for both legitimate. The script demonstrates sophisticated understanding of how digital currencies function while maintaining accessibility for audiences unfamiliar with blockchain concepts. The international political elements avoid partisan messaging while engaging with real concerns about global cooperation and economic inequality. The fictional G20 summit addresses actual challenges facing developing nations while exploring how the production faced scheduling challenges coordinating international cast members while maintaining narrative continuity across multiple shooting locations. The decision to prioritize practical environments over studio construction required extensive logistical planning while creating authentic atmosphere that supports both character development and action sequence. The film's treatment of loyalty and betrayal through various character-related differs. The revelation of Treasury Secretary Worth's collaboration with terrorists forces audiences to question assumptions about motivation, while exploring how vast wealth can corrupt individuals in positions of public trust. The editing approach during dialogue scenes emphasizes character relationships through strategic cutting and pacing that allows emotional beats to register without sacrificing overall narrative momentum. The parallel storylines following different groups throughout the hotel siege require careful coordination to maintain both spatial continuity and dramatic tension, while building toward convergent climaxes. The musical composition avoids typical action movie bombast in favor of atmospheric scoring that supports character development and emotional investment while building tension through subtle orchestration rather than overwhelming volume. The restrained approach allows dialogue and sound effects to carry dramatic weight while providing enhancement during key moments of crisis and resolution. The film's approach to depicting presidential power during extraordinary circumstances examines both constitutional obligations and personal moral imperatives, while acknowledging the impossible choices facing leaders who must balance competing responsibilities. President Sutton's evolution route the crisis reflect. The costume design reflects both practical requirements for action sequences and symbolic representation of character transformation throughout the narrative. The contrast between formal diplomatic attire and combat-ready clothing mirrors broader themes about adaptability and hidden strengths while maintaining visual continuity that helps audiences track character development and changing circumstances. The film's exploration of deepfake technology serves both plot advancement. The ease with which convincing fake videos can be created and distributed demonstrates genuine vulnerabilities in current media systems, while raising questions about verification and trust during rapidly developing new situations. The hotel setting provides contained environment that allows for intimate character moments between spectacular action sequences without requiring complex location transitions. The building's architecture creates natural opportunities for separated characters to reunite, while its security features provide believable obstacles that require intelligence and teamwork rather than pure physical prowess. The production team consulted with actual security experts and government officials to ensure authenticity in both protective protocols and their potential circumvention by sophisticated adversaries. The balance between realistic tactical elements and dramatic necessity creates believable scenarios while maintaining entertainment value and narrative accessibility for general audiences. The international cast brings linguistic diversity and cultural authenticity to diplomatic scenes, while avoiding stereotypical accents and behaviors that often characterize Hollywood depictions of foreign leaders. The natural code switching The film's treatment of media manipulation during crisis situations reflects real concerns about how breaking news can be weaponized through coordinated disinformation campaigns and sophisticated deepfake technology. The speed with which false information spreads through news outlets demonstrates actual vulnerabilities in verification systems during chaotic developing situations, requiring rapid response. The screenplay's structure allows for character development with an action sequence rather. Each confrontation reveals background, training, or moral commitment while advancing both plot and character relationships through strategic decision-making under extreme pressure. The production design creates a luxury environment that serves both aesthetic and functional narrative requirements while providing authentic backdrop for international diplomacy. The attention to detail in both formal meeting spaces and private accommodation. The film's editing maintains clear spatial relationships during complex multi-location action sequences, while building suspense through parallel cutting between different character groups. The audience can follow tactical movements and strategic decisions without confusion about geography or timing while building toward climactic confrontations. The musical score provides atmospheric enhancement without overwhelming dialogue or sound effects, while creating emotional punctuation during key dramatic. The composer's restrained approach allows natural sound and character interaction to carry dramatic weight, while providing subtle orchestral support during action sequences and emotional beats. The film's approach to violence emphasizes emotional consequences and moral implications rather than graphic spectacle, while maintaining accessibility for broad audiences. The production budget reflected priorities emphasizing authentic international locations and practical effects over extensive digital manipulation, while ensuring production values that support rather than distract from performance and storytelling. The decision to use real luxury venues creates atmosphere. The decision to use real luxury venues creates atmosphere that enhances audience belief in fictional scenarios. The casting choices prioritized dramatic credibility and cultural authenticity. The resulting ensemble creates believable international political atmosphere while maintaining clear character distinctions and motivations. The screenplay's dialogue serves multiple functions, including character development, exposition of complex technical concepts, and advancement of both plot and thematic elements, while maintaining natural conversational flow that reflects each character's background and position. The writers avoid heavy-handed explanation while ensuring audience. The film's exploration of economic inequality through technological development aid reflects understanding of how digital solutions might address global poverty, while creating new opportunities for criminal exploitation. The connection between legitimate humanitarian goals and market manipulation demonstrates complex moral landscape of contemporary international finance. The production faced logistical challenges coordinating international shooting. The decision to prioritize practical settings over studio construction required extensive planning while creating authentic atmosphere that supports both character development and action requirements. The film's treatment of international cooperation during crisis situations reflects optimistic assumptions about global leadership while acknowledging practical difficulties of coordinating responses across different governmental and cultural systems. The editing approach during family scenes balances emotional intimacy with overall pacing and tension requirements while allowing character relationships to develop organically throughout the crisis. The Sutton family dynamics evolve naturally as circumstances force reassessment of established patterns and mutual dependence, rather than traditional authority structures. The film's production design team created extensive backstories for international delegations. The attention to cultural details in costume, props, and set decoration creates authentic diplomatic atmosphere while providing actors with concrete character foundations. The cinematography employs practical lighting and camera movement to enhance claustrophobic atmosphere during hotel siege sequences while maintaining visual clarity for complex action choreography. The decision to avoid excessive digital effects creates grounded feeling that supports audience. The musical composition complements rather than competes with dialogue and sound effects while building atmospheric tension through subtle orchestration that matches character-driven storytelling approach. The restrained scoring allows emotional beats to register naturally while providing enhancement during key moments of crisis and resolution. The film's approach to depicting government crisis response balances authentic procedural elements with dramatic requirements. The combination of realistic tactical considerations and entertainment value creates believable scenarios without sacrificing narrative momentum. The costume design research included consultation with diplomatic protocol experts and security professionals to ensure authenticity in both formal attire and tactical equipment. The attention to detail in luxury evening wear and combat gear demonstrates production values, while providing practical functionality. The screenplay's exploration of loyalty and betrayal examines how economic pressures and ideological differences can corrupt even long-standing professional relationships, while demonstrating the psychological complexity of characters who choose personal gain over public service. The gradual revelation of Treasury Secretary Worth's motivations. The gradual treatment of deepfake technology avoids simple villain. The demonstration of how easily convincing fake videos can be created educates audiences about actual vulnerabilities in current information systems. The hotel surveillance systems become visual representation of both protection and privacy violation, while their manipulation by terrorists reflects genuine security vulnerabilities that sophisticated adversaries can exploit through technical knowledge and inside access. The production tempted actual security experts for real. The film's exploration of presidential decision-making during extraordinary circumstances examines constitutional obligations and personal moral imperatives, while acknowledging impossible choices facing leaders during crisis situations. President Sutton's character development reflects both established traits and transformative effects of extreme pressure on individual psychology. The international casting brings authentic. Each supporting character contributes distinct national viewpoint and personal motivation that enriches overall narrative while maintaining clear character differentiation. The production logistics required coordination across multiple international locations, while maintaining both visual consistency and authentic cultural atmosphere. The decision to film in actual diplomatic and luxury, rather than constructed sets, creates believable environment while the film's editing during action sequences maintains narrative clarity while building momentum toward climactic confrontations through strategic pacing that balances spectacle with character development. The parallel storylines require careful coordination to ensure adequate development of each subplot without sacrificing overall dramatic thrust. The screenplay's structure employs strategies while maintaining. The initial presentation of characters and situations evolves throughout the crisis as circumstances reveal hidden capabilities and moral commitments that drive resolution. The film's approach to international politics engages with real concerns about global cooperation and economic inequality, while avoiding partisan messaging that might alienate audiences with different political perspectives. The optimistic conclusion suggests possibilities for positive. The casting director faced unprecedented challenges in assembling an international ensemble that could believably portray world leaders while maintaining the physical capabilities necessary for action sequences. The decision to prioritize dramatic actors over traditional action stars reflects the film's commitment to character-driven storytelling. Though this choice required extensive physical training and stunt coordination, the production's approach to depicting Secret Service protocols involved consultation with former agents and security professionals to ensure authenticity in both standard operating procedures and crisis response adaptations. The film demonstrates understanding of how executive protection actually functions, while acknowledging the dramatic license necessary to create entertaining scenarios where such systems can be compromised by sophisticated adversaries. The screenplay's handling of cryptocurrency elements required extensive research into blockchain technology and market manipulation techniques to create believable scenarios for economic warfare. The writers consulted with financial experts and technology specialists to ensure that Rutledge's scheme felt grounded in actual vulnerabilities, rather than science fiction speculation about future possibilities. The film's production design extends beyond mere decoration to create functional and the hotel's architecture provides natural staging areas for action sequences, while its luxury amenities establish the appropriate atmosphere for international diplomacy. Every visual element supports the story's themes about protection and vulnerability in interconnected global systems. The editing process required careful coordination between multiple second unit directors and action choreographers to maintain visual consistency across different shooting locations and time periods. The parallel storylines following various character groups throughout the crisis demand precise timing and spatial continuity to ensure that audiences can follow tactical decisions without becoming confused about geography or chronology. The musical score underwent multiple revisions to achieve the appropriate balance between atmospheric tension and emotional support for character relationships. The composer experimented with various orchestral combinations and electronic elements before settling on a restrained approach that allows dialogue and sound effects to carry dramatic weight while providing subtle enhancement during key moments. The costume design team faced unique challenges in creating formal diplomatic attire that could believably transition to practical action wear without requiring obvious costume changes that would interrupt narrative flow. The solution involved layered clothing systems and strategic accessories that could be removed or modified as circumstances demanded while maintaining visual continuity. The film's approach to depicting violence reflects careful consideration of rating requirements and international distribution concerns while maintaining the dramatic impact necessary for character development. The action choreography emphasizes tactical thinking and emotional consequences rather. The production faced significant logistical challenges in coordinating international cast schedules while maintaining continuity across multiple shooting locations. The decision to film certain sequences out of chronological order required extensive planning to ensure that character development and emotional arcs remained coherent, despite the practical necessities of location availability and actor commitment. The screenplay's dialogue underwent multiple revisions to ensure that technical exposition about cryptocurrency and deepfake technology remained accessible to general audiences while maintaining accuracy that would satisfy viewers with specialized knowledge. The writers employed various techniques, including character questions and simplified analogies, to explain complex concepts without resorting to The film's exploration of family dynamics during crisis situations draws upon psychological research into how extreme stress affects parent-child relationships and sibling bonds. The Sutton family's evolution throughout the ordeal reflects documented patterns of how families adapt to extraordinary circumstances while maintaining individual character traits and established relationship patterns. The production design team created detailed backstories for each international delegation that informed visual choices in costume, props, and set decoration even when such details remained subtext rather than explicit exposition. This attention to cultural authenticity creates atmospheric richness that supports audience belief in the fictional summit while providing actors with concrete character foundation. The film's treatment of media manipulation during crisis situations reflects extensive research into how misinformation spreads through both traditional news outlets and social media platforms during rapidly developing events. The portrayal of fake news creation and distribution demonstrates actual vulnerabilities in current verification systems, while exploring the psychological impact on both creators and consumers of false information. The cinematography team employed various techniques to maintain visual interest during dialogue-heavy scenes, while avoiding camera movement that might distract from character performance and relationship development. The strategic use of lighting and composition creates intimate moments between spectacular action sequences, while maintaining overall visual consistency throughout the film. The film's approach to international politics required careful navigation of contemporary. The screenplay avoids direct parallels to specific real-world conflicts, while addressing universal themes about cooperation, economic inequality, and the challenges facing democratic institutions. The production budget allocation reflected priorities that emphasized practical locations and authentic international settings over extensive digital effects work. This decision required creative problem-solving to achieve spectacular action sequences within financial constraints. The casting process involved extensive screen testing to ensure chemistry between family members and credible authority dynamics between political characters. The decision to cast established dramatic performers in action roles required careful evaluation of physical capabilities and willingness to undergo intensive training programs necessary for believable combat sequences. The film's editing during emotional scenes balances intimate character moments with overall pacing. The gradual evolution of family dynamics throughout the crisis reflects natural psychological progression under extreme circumstances, rather than convenient character changes for dramatic purposes. The screenplay's structure employs various narrative techniques, including parallel storylines and strategic information reveals to maintain suspense, while ensuring that audience understanding of complex plot elements develops gradually, rather than through. The production design creates believable luxury environments that serve both aesthetic appeal and functional story requirements while providing authentic backdrop for international diplomacy. The attention to detail in meeting spaces, private accommodations, and security installations demonstrates research into actual diplomatic facilities while maintaining visual interest for cinema audience. The film's treatment of loyalty and betrayal examines psychological motivations behind personal and professional relationships while exploring how economic pressures can corrupt individuals in positions of public trust. The gradual revelation of Treasury Secretary Worth's collaboration with terrorists avoids simple characterization while demonstrating the complex factors that influence moral decision-making. The musical composition underwent extensive collaboration between composer and sound design team to ensure that orchestral elements complement rather than compete with practical sound effects and ambient noise. The resulting score provides atmospheric enhancement without overwhelming dialogue, while creating emotional punctuation during key dramatic moments throughout the crisis. The costume design research included consultation with diplomatic protocol experts to ensure accuracy in formal attire, while working with stunt coordinators to develop practical clothing that could accommodate action sequences without obvious costume changes. The resulting designs reflect both cultural authenticity and functional requirements for performers during combat scenes. The film's exploration of cryptocurrency as both legitimate development tool and criminal weapon reflects contemporary debates about digital currency regulation, while maintaining accessibility for audiences unfamiliar with blockchain technology. The script demonstrates sophisticated understanding of market psychology, that manipulation techniques, while avoiding technical complexity that might confuse general viewers. The decision to prioritize practical environments over studio construction created authentic atmosphere, while requiring extensive logistical coordination to achieve both aesthetic goals and action sequence requirements. The screenplay's handling of presidential decision-making during extraordinary circumstances examines constitutional obligations and personal moral imperatives, while acknowledging the impossible choices facing leaders during crisis. President Sutton's character development reflects both established personality traits and the transformative effects of extreme pressure on individual psychology and decision-making processes. The editing process required coordination between multiple units and extensive consultation with action choreographers to maintain visual consistency across different shooting environments, while ensuring that combat sequences feel consequential rather than choreographed. The resulting action scenes emphasize tactical thinking and emotional stakes, rather than pure spectacle or technical virtuosity. The production design team created functional security systems that serve both narrative requirements and visual interest while reflecting research into actual high-level diplomatic facilities. The hotel's surveillance equipment and protective measures provide believable obstacles for characters while creating opportunities for both protection and violation that drive plot development throughout the crisis. The film's treatment of deepfake technology serves both plot advancement and social commentary, while demonstrating actual capabilities and limitations of current artificial intelligence systems. The portrayal of fake video creation educates audiences about contemporary digital security concerns, while maintaining entertainment value through integration with character development and dramatic tension. The international casting brings cultural authenticity to plot and characters seen. Each supporting character contributes distinct national perspective and personal motivation that enriches overall narrative, while maintaining clear character differentiation and believable relationship dynamics throughout the developing crisis. The screenplay's dialogue serves multiple narrative functions, including character development, technical exposition, and thematic exploration, while maintaining natural, conversational flow that reflects characters' background. The writers balance accessibility with accuracy while ensuring that complex cryptocurrency and political concepts remain comprehensible to general audiences without oversimplification. The film's exploration of economic inequality through technological solutions reflects understanding of how digital innovations might address global poverty while creating new opportunities for criminal exploitation. The connection between legitimate humanitarian goals and market manipulation illustrates the complex moral and The production logistics involved coordination across multiple countries and governmental jurisdictions, while maintaining both security protocols and authentic cultural atmosphere. The decision to film in actual luxury venues and diplomatic facilities, rather than constructed sets, creates believable environments while providing actors with authentic settings that inform their performances and character development. The musical score provides subtle atmospheric enhancement that supports character development. The composer's restrained approach allows natural sound and character interaction to carry dramatic weight, while providing orchestral punctuation during key moments of crisis and resolution. The film's approach to violence emphasizes moral consequences and emotional impact rather than graphic spectacle, while maintaining the dramatic tension necessary for character development and plot advance. The action choreography reveals character background, training, and ethical commitment through strategic decision-making under extreme pressure, rather than relying on pure physical prowess or convenient plot developments. The costume design reflects both practical requirements for action sequences and symbolic representation of character transformation throughout the narrative, while maintaining visual continuity that helps audiences. The contrast between formal diplomatic attire and combat-ready clothing mirrors broader thematic concerns about adaptability and hidden capabilities. The screenplay structure employs strategic misdirection and character revelation to subvert audience expectations while maintaining clear cause and effect relationships between events and character decisions. The initial presentation of characters and situations evolves throughout the crisis. The production design creates detailed international diplomatic atmosphere through careful attention to cultural elements in set decoration, props, and environmental details that inform character behavior without requiring extensive exposition. The resulting authenticity supports audience belief in fictional scenarios while providing actors with concrete foundations for their performances throughout the developing crisis. The film's editing during family scenes balances emotional intimacy with overall pacing requirements, while allowing character relationships to develop organically as circumstances force reassessment of established patterns and mutual dependence. The Sutton family dynamics evolve naturally throughout the ordeal, rather than changing conveniently for dramatic purposes or plot advancement. The cinematography employs practical lighting and strategic camera movement to enhance atmospheric tension during siege sequences, while maintaining visual clarity for complex action, choreography, and character interaction. The film's treatment of international cooperation during crisis situations reflects optimistic assumptions about global leadership, while acknowledging practical difficulties of coordinating responses across different governmental systems and cultural perspectives. The collaborative elements suggest possibilities for transcending national rivalries through shared challenges, while maintaining realistic portrayals of diplomatic complexity. The production faced various technical challenges in creating convincing deepfake sequences that would demonstrate the technology's potential for abuse without actually promoting its misuse or providing instructional content. The visual effects team consulted with cybersecurity experts to ensure accuracy while maintaining entertainment value and educational awareness about contemporary digital threats and information verification challenges. The screenplay's exploration of loyalty and betrayal through various character relationships demonstrates psychological complexity while avoiding simple characterization of motivations and allegiances. The gradual revelation of conflicting loyalties forces audiences to question assumptions about trust and institutional reliability, while exploring how personal circumstances can influence professional judgment and moral decision-making. The film's approach to depicting presidential power during extraordinary circumstances examines both constitutional limitations and individual agency, while acknowledging the unique pressures facing leaders who must balance competing responsibilities and moral obligations. President Sutton's evolution throughout the crisis reflects established character traits, while demonstrating how extreme circumstances can reveal hidden capabilities. The production design team researched actual diplomatic protocols and security procedures to ensure authenticity in both protective measures and their potential circumvention by sophisticated adversaries with inside knowledge and superior resources. The balance between realistic tactical elements and dramatic necessity creates believable scenarios, while maintaining entertainment value and narrative accessibility for diverse audiences. The musical composition avoids typical action movie conventions in favor of atmospheric scoring that supports character development and emotional investment while building tension through subtle orchestration rather than overwhelming volume or patriotic themes. The restrained approach allows dialogue and practical sound effects to carry dramatic weight while providing enhancement during key moments of crisis and character revelation. The collaborative process between writers Caitlin Parrish, Erica Weiss, and Logan and Noah Miller required extensive coordination to ensure tonal consistency across multiple drafts while balancing the demands of action sequences with character development and political commentary. The screenplay underwent numerous revisions as the writing team worked to create dialogue that could serve exposition about complex financial concepts, while the film's approach to casting international roles required extensive consultation with cultural advisors to ensure authentic representation of world leaders, without falling into stereotypical portrayals that often characterize Hollywood international thrillers. The casting directors prioritized actors who could bring genuine gravitas to diplomatic roles, while possessing the physical capabilities necessary for action sequences. The production design challenges extended beyond creating believable luxury environments to incorporating functional security systems that could serve multiple narrative purposes throughout the siege scenario. 3. The hotel's surveillance equipment needed to appear sophisticated enough to justify its exploitation by the terrorists while remaining comprehensible to audiences unfamiliar with high-tech security installations. Every visual element was designed to support both. The film's exploration of economic warfare through cryptocurrency manipulation reflects genuine contemporary concerns about how digital currencies can be weaponized by sophisticated bad actors with sufficient technical knowledge and financial resources. For the screenplay demonstrates understanding of market psychology and speculation dynamics while maintaining accessibility for viewers who may not be familiar with blockchain technology, cryptocurrency trading. The musical score composition process involved multiple iterations to achieve the appropriate balance between atmospheric tension and emotional support for character relationships without overwhelming the practical sound effects and dialogue that carry much of the dramatic weight. Joseph Trapanese experimented with various orchestral combinations and electronica interactions to dominate the audio landscape. The film's treatment of family dynamics during extreme crisis situations draws upon psychological research into how stress affects parent-child relationships and sibling bonds, while exploring universal themes about discovering each other's capabilities under extraordinary pressure. The Sutton family relationships evolve organically throughout the ordeal, as established patterns are challenged by circumstance require mutual dependence and respect. The cinematography team employed practical lighting techniques and strategic camera movement to enhance the claustrophobic atmosphere of the hotel siege while maintaining visual clarity during complex action choreography. 7. The decision to minimize digital effects in favor of practical stunts and real locations creates a grounded feeling that supports audience investment in character safety and tactical decision-making throughout the increasingly desperate. The editing process required careful coordination between multiple second-unit directors to maintain visual consistency across different shooting locations and time periods, while ensuring that parallel storylines converge naturally toward climactic confrontations. 8. The balance between action spectacle and character development demanded precise timing to allow emotional beats to register without sacrificing overall narrative momentum. The costume design team researched actual diplomatic protocols and executive protection procedures to ensure authenticity in both formal attire and tactical equipment, while working with stunt coordinators to develop practical clothing systems that could accommodate action sequences. 9. The resulting designs reflect cultural authenticity and functional requirements while maintaining visual continuity that helps audiences track character development throughout the crisis. The film's production faced significant logistical challenges during the labor disputes that affected Hollywood in 2023, requiring careful navigation of union negotiations while maintaining project momentum and cast availability. 10. The decision to respect striking workers while pursuing interim agreements demonstrated commitment to fair labor practices, while ensuring that the international cast could coordinate their schedules effectively. The screenplay's handling of deepfake technology serves both plot advancement and social commentary about contemporary digital security concerns, while demonstrating actual capabilities and limitations of current artificial intelligence systems. 11. The portrayal of fake video creation and distribution educates audiences about genuine vulnerabilities in information verification developing crisis situations. The international locations presented unique production challenges that required coordination across multiple governmental jurisdictions while maintaining both security protocols and authentic cultural atmosphere. 12. The decision to film in actual luxury venues and diplomatic facilities rather than constructed studio sets creates believable environments while providing actors with authentic settings that inform their performance. The film's approach to depicting government crisis response protocols balances realistic procedural elements with dramatic requirements while ensuring accessibility for audiences unfamiliar with executive protection and national security operations. 13. The combination of authentic tactical considerations and entertainment value creates believable scenarios without sacrificing narrative accessibility or character development. The musical composition underwent extensive collaboration between composer and sound design team to ensure that orchestral elements complement rather than compete with practical sound effects and ambient environmental noise. 14. The resulting score provides atmospheric enhancement without overwhelming dialogue, while creating emotional punctuation during key dramatic moments throughout the escalating crisis. The casting process for supporting international roles involved extensive screen testing to ensure chemistry between ensemble members, while evaluating each performer's ability to handle both dramatic character work and physical action requirements. 15. The resulting cast creates believable international political atmosphere while maintaining clear character distinctions and authentic cultural perspectives throughout the developing situation. The film's exploration of loyalty and betrayal through various character relationships examines how economic pressures and ideological differences can corrupt even long-standing professional relationships, while demonstrating the psychological complexity of individuals who choose personal gain over public service. 16. The gradual revelation of Treasury Secretary. The gradual revelation of Treasury Secretary influence voids simple villain characterization. The production design team created extensive backstories for various international delegations that inform visual choices in set decoration, props, and environmental details, without requiring explicit exposition. 17. This attention to cultural authenticity creates atmospheric richness that supports audience belief in fictional scenarios while providing actors with concrete character foundations for their performances. The film's treatment of media manipulation during crisis situations reflects extensive research into how misinformation spreads through both traditional news outlets and social media platforms during rapidly developing events. 18. The editing approach during emotional scenes balances intimate character moments with overall pacing requirements while ensuring that relationship development feels organic rather than forced by plot necessities. 19. The family dynamics evolve naturally throughout the crisis as circumstances challenge established patterns and create opportunities for mutual understanding and respect between different generations. The film's approach to violence emphasizes moral consequences and emotional impact rather than graphic spectacle, while maintaining the dramatic tension necessary for character development and plot advancement. 7. The action choreography reveals character background, training, and ethical commitment through strategic decision-making under extreme pressure, rather than relying on pure physical prowess or convenient plot developments. The production budget allocation reflected priorities that emphasized authentic international settings and practical effects over extensive digital manipulation, while ensuring production values that support, rather than distract from performance and storytelling. 8. The decision to use real diplomatic venues creates atmosphere that enhances audience belief in fictional scenarios while providing authentic. The screenplay structure employs strategic misdirection and character revelation to subvert audience expectations while maintaining clear cause and effect relationships between events and character decisions. 9. The initial presentation of characters and situations evolves throughout the crisis as circumstances reveal hidden capabilities and moral commitments that ultimately drive narrative resolution and thematic exploration. The film's exploration of economic inequality through technological development solutions reflects understanding of how digital innovations might address global poverty while creating new opportunities for criminal exploitation. 10. The connection between legitimate humanitarian goals and market manipulation demonstrates the complex moral landscape of contemporary international finance and development aid programs. The cinematography during dialogue scenes uses strategic camera placement and movement to emphasize character relationships and power dynamics without calling attention to technical execution. 11. The visual storytelling supports, rather than competes with performances while creating intimate moments that balance the spectacular action elements throughout the film's runtime. The costume design reflects both practical requirements for action sequences and symbolic representation of character transformation throughout the narrative, while maintaining visual continuity that helps audiences track development and changing circumstances. 12. The contrast between formal diplomatic attire and combat-ready clothing mirrors broader thematic concerns about adaptability and hidden capabilities revealed under pressure. The film's treatment of international cooperation during crisis situations reflects optimistic assumptions about global leadership, while acknowledging practical difficulties of coordinating responses across different governmental systems and cultural perspectives. 13. The collaborative elements suggest possibilities for transcending national rivalries through shared challenges while maintaining realistic portrayals of diplomatic complexity. The production design creates detailed international diplomatic atmosphere through careful attention to cultural elements in environmental decoration and prop selection that inform character behavior without requiring extensive exposition. 14. The resulting authenticity supports audience belief in fictional scenarios while providing performers with concrete foundations for their character work throughout the developing crisis. The musical score provides subtle atmospheric enhancement that support. The composer's restrained approach allows natural sound and character interaction to carry dramatic weight, while providing orchestral punctuation during key moments of crisis and resolution. The film's editing during action sequences maintains narrative clarity while building momentum toward climactic confrontations through strategic pacing that balances spectacle with character development. 16. The parallel storylines require careful coordination to ensure adequate development of each subplot without sacrificing overall dramatic thrust or audience comprehension. The screenplay's dialogue serves multiple narrative functions, including character development, exposition of complex technical concepts, and advancement of both plot and thematic elements, while maintaining natural conversational flow. 17. The writers avoid heavy-handed explanation. The production faced scheduling conflicts due to international shooting requirements and cast availability while maintaining narrative continuity across multiple locations and time zones. 18. The decision to prioritize practical environments over studio construction created authentic atmosphere while requiring extensive logistical coordination to achieve both aesthetic goals and functional action sequence requirements. The film's approach to depicting presidential power during extraordinary circumstances examines both constitutional limitations and individual agency, while acknowledging the unique pressures facing leaders who must balance competing responsibilities. 19. President Sutton's evolution throughout the crisis reflects established character traits while demonstrating how extreme circumstances can reveal hidden capabilities. The casting choices prioritize dramatic credibility and cultural authenticity over traditional action movie expectations, while ensuring that performers could handle both emotional character work and physical demands of combat sequences. 1. The resulting ensemble creates believable international political atmosphere, while maintaining clear character distinctions and authentic motivational complexity. The film's exploration of deepfake technology as both weapon and metaphor addresses contemporary concerns about digital truth while serving plot advancement through believable technological threats. The demonstration of how easily convincing fake videos can be created educates audiences about actual vulnerabilities in current information systems while maintaining entertainment value. The hotel surveillance systems become visual representation of both protection and privacy violation, while their manipulation by terrorists reflects genuine security vulnerabilities that sophisticated adversaries can exploit. 3. The production team consulted actual security experts to ensure realistic portrayals of both protective measures and their potential circumvention through technical knowledge and inside access. The film's treatment of government crisis response balances authentic procedural elements with dramatic requirements while ensuring accessibility for audiences unfamiliar with executive protection protocols. The combination of realistic tactical considerations and entertainment value creates believable scenarios without sacrificing narrative momentum or character development opportunities. The production design team. The hotel's architecture provides natural staging areas for action sequences, while its luxury amenities establish appropriate atmosphere for international diplomacy and high-stakes political negotiations. The musical composition avoids typical action movie conventions in favor of atmospheric scoring that supports character development and emotional investment while building tension through subtle orchestration. The restrained approach allows dialogue and practical sound effects to carry dramatic weight, while providing enhancement during key moments of crisis and character revelation. The film's approach to international politics engages with real concerns about global cooperation and economic inequality, while avoiding partisan messaging that might alienate audiences with different political perspectives. The optimistic conclusion suggests possibilities for positive change through moral leadership and collaborative effort, while acknowledging genuine challenges posed by technological advancement. The editing process required coordination between multiple units and extensive consultation with action choreographers to maintain visual consistency across different shooting environments. The resulting action scenes emphasized tactical thinking and emotional stakes, rather than pure spectacle. The screenplay's exploration of loyalty and betrayal through various character relationships demonstrates psychological complexity while avoiding simple characterization of motivations and allegiances. 9. The gradual revelation of conflicting loyalties forces audiences to question assumptions about trust and institutional reliability, while exploring how personal circumstances can influence professional judgment. The film's distribution strategy reflects the changing landscape of entertainment consumption patterns as streaming platforms increasingly compete with traditional theatrical releases for audience attention and revenue generation. Netflix's decision to acquire G20 demonstrates the platform's commitment to high-budget original content that can attract global audiences while addressing contemporary political themes that resonate across different cultural contexts. The casting director's approach to assembling the international ensemble required extensive consultation with cultural advisors and diplomatic experts to ensure authentic representation of world leaders without relying on stereotypical portrayals or accents that might alienate audiences from the represented nations. The careful balance between dramatic credibility and cultural sensitivity created opportunities for actors to explore The film's technical achievements in creating convincing deepfake sequences required collaboration between visual effects artists and cybersecurity experts to demonstrate the technology's potential for abuse without providing instructional content that could enable actual misuse. The production team walked a careful line between educating audiences about contemporary digital threats and maintaining entertainment value without crossing ethical boundaries. The production design philosophy emphasized creating functional environments that could serve multiple narrative purposes throughout the siege scenario, while maintaining visual authenticity that supports audience belief in the fictional international summit. Every architectural detail was carefully considered for both aesthetic appeal and practical story requirements, from the hotel's luxury amenities that establish appropriate diplomatic atmosphere to its security features that became crucial plot elements during the crisis. The screenplay development process involved extensive research into cryptocurrency markets and blockchain technology to create believable scenarios for economic warfare that reflect genuine contemporary vulnerabilities in global financial systems. The writers consulted with economists, technology specialists, and market analysts to ensure that Rutledge's manipulation scheme felt grounded in actual possibilities. The musical score composition required careful calibration to achieve atmospheric tension without overwhelming the practical sound effects and dialogue that carry much of the film's dramatic weight. Joseph Trapanese's approach favored subtle orchestration and electronic elements that could enhance emotional beats and build suspense without resorting to the bombastic scoring conventions that often characterize political action movies set in international context. The film's exploration of family dynamics under extreme pressure draws upon psychological research into how crisis situations affect parent-child relationships and reveal hidden capabilities within established family structures. The Sutton family's evolution throughout the ordeal reflects documented patterns of adaptation, while maintaining individual personality traits and relationship dynamics that feel authentic rather than convenient for dramatic purposes. The cinematography team faced unique challenges in maintaining visual clarity during complex action sequences, while creating the claustrophobic atmosphere appropriate for a hotel siege scenario. The decision to prioritize practical lighting and camera movement over digital effects creates immersive experiences that support audience investment in character safety, while ensuring that tactical decisions and spatial relationships remain comprehensive throughout rapidly escalating. The editing process required precise coordination between multiple shooting units to maintain continuity across international locations, while ensuring that parallel storylines converge naturally toward climactic moments. The balance between spectacular action sequences and intimate character development demanded careful timing to allow emotional beats to register without sacrificing the overall narrative momentum that drives audience engagement throughout the run. The costume design challenges extended beyond creating authentic diplomatic attire to developing practical clothing systems that could accommodate action sequences without requiring obvious wardrobe changes that might interrupt narrative flow. The solution involved layered designs and strategic accessories that could be modified as circumstances demanded, while maintaining visual consistency that helps audiences track character development. The film's approach to depicting violence reflects careful consideration of international rating requirements and cultural sensitivities while maintaining the dramatic impact necessary for character development and plot advancement. The action choreography emphasizes tactical thinking and moral consequences rather than graphic imagery, creating sequences that feel impactful without relying on excessive violence or shock value to maintain audience attention. The production logistics involved coordination across multiple governmental jurisdictions and cultural contexts while respecting local customs and regulations in each filming location. The decision to use authentic diplomatic venues and luxury facilities rather than constructed studio sets created atmospheric richness while requiring extensive planning to accommodate both security protocols and practical filming requirements. The film's treatment of government crisis response protocols balances realistic procedural elements with dramatic necessities, while ensuring accessibility for audiences unfamiliar with executive protection and national security operations. The portrayal of Secret Service procedures and international cooperation mechanisms reflects research into actual protocols, while maintaining entertainment value and narrative clarity. The international cast brings linguistic diversity and cultural authenticity to diplomatic scenes, while avoiding the manufactured accents and stereotypical behaviors that often characterize Hollywood portrayals of foreign leaders. The natural code switching between languages during conversations creates believable political atmosphere, while the reversion to native tongues during moments of stress adds. The screenplay's dialogue serves multiple functions, including character development, exposition of complex technical concepts, and advancement of thematic elements, while maintaining conversational flow that reflects each character's background and position. The writers employed various techniques to explain cryptocurrency and deepfake technology without resorting to unrealistic exposition that might interrupt character interactions or dramatic pacing. The film's exploration of economic inequality through technological solutions reflects understanding of how digital innovations might address global development challenges while creating new opportunities for criminal exploitation by sophisticated bad actors. The connection between legitimate humanitarian goals and market manipulation demonstrates the complex moral landscape of contemporary international finance, and the production budget allocation prioritized authentic international settings and practical effects over extensive digital manipulation, while ensuring production values that enhance rather than distract from storytelling and character performance. The investment in real locations and practical stunts creates atmospheric believability that supports audience engagement while providing actors with authentic. The casting process for supporting roles involved extensive evaluation of both dramatic capabilities and physical requirements, while prioritizing cultural authenticity and international representation. The resulting ensemble creates believable diplomatic atmosphere while maintaining clear character distinctions that help audiences follow complex political relationships and shifting allegiances throughout the developing crisis. The film's treatment of loyalty and betrayal examines how economic pressures and ideological differences can fracture even long-standing professional relationships, while exploring the psychological complexity of individuals who choose personal gain over public service responsibilities. The gradual revelation of Treasury Secretaries. The gradual revelation of Treasury Secretary Worth's motivations avoid simple characterization, while demonstrating realistic factors that influence moral. The editing approach during emotional scenes balances intimate character moments with overall pacing requirements, while ensuring that relationship development feels organic rather than forced by plot conveniences. The family dynamics evolve naturally throughout the crisis, as established patterns are challenged by circumstances that require mutual dependence and understanding between different generations and personality types. The film's approach to international politics engages with contemporary concerns about global cooperation and economic development, while avoiding partisan messaging that might alienate audiences with different political perspectives or national loyalties. The optimistic conclusion suggests possibilities for positive change through moral leadership, while acknowledging the genuine challenges posed by technological advancement and systemic inequality. The production design creates detailed international atmosphere through careful attention to cultural elements in set decoration, props, and environmental details that inform character behavior without requiring extensive exposition or explanation. The attention to diplomatic protocol and cultural authenticity creates immersive experiences while providing actors with concrete foundations for their character interpretations and performance choice. The musical score provides atmospheric enhancement that supports character relationships and emotional development without overwhelming dialogue or practical sound effects that carry dramatic weight. The composer's restrained approach allows natural sound and character interaction to dominate the audio landscape while providing subtle orchestral punctuation during key moments of crisis and resolution. The film's editing during action sequences maintains spatial clarity while building momentum toward climactic confrontations through strategic pacing that balances spectacle with character development and tactical decision-making. The parallel storylines require careful coordination to ensure adequate development of each subplot without sacrificing overall dramatic coherence or audience comprehension of complex plot elements. The screenplay structure employs strategic misdirection and character revelation to subvert audience expectations while maintaining clear cause and effect relationships between events and character decisions throughout the crisis. The initial presentation of characters and situations evolves as circumstances reveal hidden capabilities and moral commitments that drive both personal growth and narrative resolution. The film's exploration of deepfake technology serves both plot advancement and social commentary about contemporary concerns regarding digital authenticity and information verification in an era of sophisticated artificial intelligence capabilities. The demonstration of how convincing fake videos can be created and distributed educates audiences about genuine vulnerabilities while maintaining entertainment value through integration. The hotel surveillance systems become visual metaphors for both protection and violation, while their manipulation by terrorists reflects actual security vulnerabilities that sophisticated adversaries can exploit through technical knowledge and inside access. The production team consulted cybersecurity experts to ensure realistic portrayals of both defensive measures and their potential circumvention through coordinated attacks. The film's treatment of presidential decision-making during extraordinary circumstances examines both constitutional limitations and individual moral imperatives, while acknowledging the impossible choices facing leaders who must balance competing responsibilities and ethical obligations. President Sutton's character development reflects established traits, while demonstrating how extreme pressure can reveal hidden capabilities and moral clarity. The costume design reflects both practical requirements for action sequences and symbolic representation of character transformation throughout the narrative, while maintaining visual continuity that helps audiences track development and changing circumstances. The contrast between formal diplomatic attire and combat-ready clothing mirrors broader themes about adaptability and discovering unexpected strengths under pressure. The film's approach to depicting Secret Service operations during crisis situations reflects understanding of how executive protection actually functions, while acknowledging the dramatic license necessary to create entertaining scenarios where security systems can be compromised by determined adversaries with superior resources and inside information. The production faced scheduling conflicts due to international shooting requirements and cast availability. The decision to prioritize authentic environments over studio construction created atmospheric richness while requiring extensive logistical coordination to achieve both aesthetic goals and practical filming requirements. The musical composition underwent extensive revision to achieve appropriate balance between atmospheric tension and emotional support for character relationships without overwhelming the dialogue and sound effects. The final score provides subtle enhancement while allowing natural sounds and character interactions to dominate the audio experience. The film's treatment of media manipulation during crisis situations reflects research into how misinformation spreads through both traditional news outlets and social media platforms during rapidly developing events that challenge verification systems. The portrayal of coordinated disinformation campaigns demonstrates actual vulnerability. The cinematography employs practical lighting techniques and strategic camera movement to enhance claustrophobic atmosphere during siege sequences while maintaining visual clarity for complex choreography and character interaction. The decision to minimize digital effects creates grounded experiences that support audience investment in tactical decision-making and character safety throughout escalating confrontations. The film's exploration of cryptocurrency as both development solution and criminal weapon reflects contemporary debates about digital currency regulation, while maintaining accessibility for audiences unfamiliar with blockchain technology and market speculation strategies. The script demonstrates sophisticated understanding of financial psychology while avoiding technical complexity that might confuse general viewers. The international locations presented production challenges that require coordination across governmental jurisdictions. The use of actual diplomatic facilities creates believable environments while providing actors with authentic settings that inform their performances and character development throughout the crisis. The editing process required coordination between multiple units and extensive consultation with action choreographers to maintain visual consistency across different environments while ensuring that combat sequences feel consequential rather than choreography. The screenplay's handling of deepfake technology addresses contemporary digital security concerns, while serving plot requirements through believable technological threats that reflect actual capabilities and limitations of current artificial intelligence systems. The portrayal educates audiences about genuine vulnerabilities while maintaining entertainment value through character integration and dramatic tension. The production design team researched actual high-level diplomatic facilities to ensure authenticity in both visual elements and functional story requirements, while creating environments that could serve multiple narrative purposes throughout the siege scenario. Every detail was considered for both aesthetic appeal and practical plot advancement. The film's approach to violence emphasizes moral consequences, and the action choreography reveals character background and ethical commitment through strategic decision-making under extreme pressure, rather than relying on pure physical confrontation. The casting choices prioritize dramatic credibility and cultural authenticity over traditional action movie expectations, while ensuring performers could handle both emotional character work and physical demands of combat sequences. The resulting cast creates believable. The musical score avoids conventional action movie bombast in favor of atmospheric enhancement that supports character development and emotional investment, while building tension through subtle orchestration rather than overwhelming volume or patriotic themes. The restrained approach allows dialogue and practical effects to carry dramatic weight while providing punctuation during key moments. The film's treatment of international cooperation during crisis situations reflects optimistic assumptions about global leadership, while acknowledging practical difficulties of coordinating responses across different governmental systems and cultural perspectives. The collaborative elements suggest possibilities for transcending national rivalries while maintaining realistic portrayals of diplomatic complexity and institutional limitations. The production budget reflected priorities emphasizing authentic settings and practical effects, while ensuring production values that support storytelling and character performance rather than distracting from narrative development. The investment in real locations and coordinated action sequences creates believable scenarios while providing atmospheric richness that enhances audience engagement throughout the runtime. The gradual revelation of conflicting loyalties forces audiences to question assumptions about trust, while exploring how personal circumstances and economic pressures can influence professional judgment and moral decision-making under extraordinary circumstances.